I am privileged to be here, and
Thank you, Ashna.
without wasting time, since I have only 5 minutes to go,
Okay.
let me come. I am quite excited to share my experiences. Actually, I have been in consulting business for last 25 years, 25 plus years, and I was an academician also, and heading the management institution for around 10 years. So I was quite, wanted to examine that whatever we teach, whether it is relevant in the organization or not. So first thing which I found that people want to innovate, but people don't want to innovate. The meaning is that at their awareness level they want to innovate, they want to have some new thing, to be market leader, but at the execution part, the action part, some kind of thing is missing, some connecting link is missing. In my experiences, we used to meet lot many people, very senior people, and you'll be surprised to know that when you we used to suggest something, we would get such answers also, that madam, what you are saying, we have been in this business for last 30 years, and you want to suggest changes. We don't know, we know that what is best for the business. So such kind of responses I used to get. Slowly and steadily, when they started doing the thing as a drill, and later on they learned that no, changes can happen, innovations can happen, but one has to have a very strong will for it. And for that, first thing which I want to tell is that first thing is top management's commitment. For innovation and creativity, you need top management's creation, total dedication. So until unless you get this support of top management, down the line employees have their own doubts. If you remember, one of the management experts have told, have said that CEO is not, the organizational culture is nothing but the long shadow of a CEO. So if the people at the helm of the affairs support innovation, then only it is possible. So first thing is that the mission statement, the vision of the company should indicate innovation in its statement. Number one, I'm not able to share the screen. It has been disabled, I suppose, from. Can you please check?
1 second, ma'am. No, you can share, ma'am. It is not disabled. 1 minute. Yeah, you can share, right?
Okay.
You can share.
So first thing is innovation. Okay. So what happens when the people see that at the top level the people are listening to us, the storm. So first thing is the top management is here. Second thing is how much the top management is giving space to the employees. Now, in giving space to the employees means that the organization should be in the learning mode. The organization has to have the ability, the stamina to take risk, and to tackle the failures also in the sporting spirit. If employees are doing something, they are experimenting something, they'll succeed sometime, and they are going to fail also, because until unless one is experimenting, innovation cannot happen. So one has to have that learning organization's attitude, and in this attitude one has to encourage people, collaborate with them, participate with them, and when they fail, then you have to have your hands on their shoulders. Okay, let us try again. Then only innovation can take place in the organizational context. Number third, let me give you a very small example. I was working, I was giving training to one organization. I was asking my training session that why don't you give the suggestions? You have very nice scheme of suggestion. You have suggestion box. You have the rewards on suggestion. Why don't you give? Then the employees told, "Ma'am, we are given gift. We are encouraged to suggest, but our suggestions are not implemented." So what happens when these suggestions are not implemented? It discourages the employees. So the the commitment of the organization to experiment with things. There should be committees, there could be groups, there could be interest groups, something like that. I'm not saying every suggestion has to be implemented, but few 4 or 5 suggestions, top suggestions should be implemented. Then only the people are encouraged to innovate. Third thing is that when people are innovating, then the support and the encouragement from their immediate superiors is very much required. What happens if the immediate superior is saying, okay, it's good you are doing something, but what about my deadlines? Then people will be more into the day-to-day work. They won't be encouraged. So one has to have some kind of time frame, some kind of special time for innovation purpose. Fourth thing which I found is that how much the team members are communicating with each other. Once the people communicate, they come with different kind of problems and solutions both. So whether the people are feeling to contribute to the organization, that comes with a sense of belongingness. And sense of belongingness cannot come until unless the organization makes different kind of employee engagement activities. So everything is interrelated. Nothing comes into vacuum. So vision and mission, organization support, continuous activities, experimentation, having having stamina to take risk, as well as when there is a failure, one has to take things into stride. One has to have continuous learning programs, learning ability, and there should be the organization should be in the mood of growing. It is said that till the time you are you'll grow. If you are right, you get done. So that spirit of growing has to be there in the organization. Then there has to be some kind of regular activities, some kind of competitions amongst the departments or some certain teams. Now I'll come to the very quickly, I'll come to one more thing, which is Kaizen. Kaizen is nothing but adding on small improvement through innovation. Since I have found Kaizen to be very effective in innovating things, especially at grassroots level. So that has to be there. Then then question arises why it so happens that people, even it is proven that when you innovate, when you are new in the market, you happen to have better market share, better holding in the market. Then why people are not able to innovate? People are not able to innovate because of few preconceived notions, apathies from the superior. Now, preconceived notion is that if I'm saying something, I alone, if I'm saying something, who is going to listen? Then why to take risk? Then there is, there is a culture of following SOPs. SOPs are standard operating procedures. People feel that, okay, SOP is created, why to fumble with the SOP? Let me do the work the way organization has defined. I'm giving you a very small example. example, so they used to cut the floor of the car and floor of the car in a circle. A circle was cut out. So for that, they still used to go to that particular country, and that was particular hole was made, and then it was sent back to be fixed in the car. Then one day, one employee asked, "What is the purpose of this hole in the car?" Nobody ever asked because it was a so people used to keep on doing it. Later on, when they checked up with their foreign counterpart, it happened that there it used to snow. So they used to fit heater in it, which was not required in Indian conditions. And you know how much cost it must have incurred sending the material to the foreign country, then taking in pack and then fixing it with no use in the Indian context. So this is how one has to have questioning attitude for innovating. When you question things, when you question status quo, then only you happen to have new innovations. I think 5 minutes. I'm left with some time, or is it?
Yes, ma'am. You can take 5 more minutes. You have time. Half an
Okay,
hour schedule.
okay. So this is one thing from the organizational context, from the top management context. Now, if you see the from employees orientation, employees have to have that. It has to. They have to imbibe that culture, and how they can imbibe the culture? They can imbibe the culture by few HR as well as strategic activities. First kind of HR activity is the sense of involvement. Until unless I feel for my organization, until unless I understand that this is my organization, I won't contribute. Sense of belongingness, when the employee feels that the organization is taking example in Chandigarh. In Chandigarh, one of the company, the, they used to have the CEO of the company was quite philanthropic in his attitude. And what happened, whenever somebody is to get injured or something, then the company used to come forth and help the people. Now, even if one person was paralyzed, he was given a special seat and assistant to work, for him to work and do his job. So you don't see these kind of things in the company. Generally, what happens, they'll say, okay, you work from home for some time, you reduce your salary, but they won't help after an extent. But this company did. Now, what was the effect of this thing? This story had created a positive sentiment in whole of the employee base. Now, when I was doing the interviews with the people, was trying to understand, then one of the person said, "Ma'am, if organization is doing something for one person, why won't that organization would do for me? And if the organization is thinking so much for us, it is our moral duty to give it back. So if I have to go an extra step, I am going to go and contribute to the organization." Now, see this beautiful feeling, when it is synergized, innovation happens. One of the organization I was associated with, now they had a very big order, and the machinery they were using was of China. And if you are aware of the kind of China's um, uh, inventory thing, it takes around 6 months uh, to place an order and get the machines in the company. It takes around 6 months time, but the order was urgent. So the employees, they said, they to ask the owner that, okay, sir, give us around 5 lakhs of rupees and we'll try to make this machine at home. 22 days, day and night, supervisory mimic things they were trying to uh, 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 as per their experience they were trying to assimilate the machinery, and you'll be surprised to know that they were successful. The machinery from China was costing around 50 plus lakhs. And that machinery in house was created in 7 point something lakhs. And the prototype was made, and they were able to replicate that machine in house and develop so much of production. Now, see the beauty of innovation. They innovated, and they told me that, ma'am, when we were making the machinery, we even used the gasket of cooker lid to make that particular machine. So that kind of dedication came to innovate that machine because organization was taking extra care, good care of their employee. And they were being given that kind of training to encourage the innovation. They were given the encouragement to experiment with things. So this is how uh, 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 the involvement of people. Now see what happened, what was the effect of it. Since this one group could make this machinery, they became the heroes of the organization. Now because they became the heroes of the organization, the other people became inspired from them.
Good
And
afternoon, ma'am. I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I have a question regarding what you were saying regarding the Chinese products. As we know, after the attack on Ladakh, the eastern Ladakh, Indians are throwing away TV sets from balconies and taunting the Chinese president. So everyone's planning on boycotting the Chinese products. But do you think that will be feasible for Indians in such a
see,
situation, in the coronavirus
very
situation?
nice question. See, nothing happens in overnight. See, even if we want to equip ourselves, see, I have been associated with industry for quite some time, and I've seen that majorly the industry is importing raw material from China. It
Yes,
cannot
ma'am.
happen overnight. See, everything needs the time for creating one's own thing. So it has to be at a slow pace but steady pace. The thing is, first one has to have an idea. Once that idea came, like for example that PPE kit, if you see what happened with PPE kits, we were not making any PPE kits, no masks we were making. But once that idea came, we started doing. Similarly, in all the organizations, to compete with the pricing of China and the efficiency of China, we need some time. So it has to be, we can regress, but slowly. We can replace our product with indigenous suppliers, but it cannot happen overnight. This is my answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you
Thank you
agree?
so much. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So and innovation also, see, it is not certain that whatever you are innovating is going to work. I've been associated with one cycle company. Now they did lot of R&D, and they were able to make a cycle which can be folded. So they translated, but they didn't find the market. So it's not that every innovation is going to work, but same times you cannot stop innovation because whether it is going to work or not. Like if you know the story of Xerox, this gentleman was knocking the door of companies for 9 full years. Then one of the company, Xerox company, took his photocopying thing. So one has to have patience, one has to have perseverance, and then never stop getting stopped kind of spirit. Like if I give an example of Dr. Abdul Kalam, what he did, he initially he failed in making missiles. He was rebuked for it. His initial missiles didn't work, they were burnt. But later on, he became the missile man of India. Then he used certain material which was used in missiles to make prosthetics because it was hard, strong, and light in weight. So innovation can happen anywhere. The thing is, one need to have that kind of mindset. Uh, now, and I think we Indians are very good at innovation when we come to it. If we see whether it is Chandrayaan or if you see the ISRO, where we are doing things in a frugal manner. What people do in lot double, triple, even many times in many types of pricing, we are doing in a very cheap manner. And for that matter, we are known for jugaad management. Now it has become a science of study in foreign countries, that what is jugaad management, how we are able to do such everything frugally. So that brains we have. What happened that in because of certain cultural thing, which we were colony, we were slaves, so that innovative spirit has died. So this this is again, we need to rekindle that spirit. If you go through your history, earlier where we were quite innovative and advanced, but somewhere we lost. So that has to be rekindled, and in organizational context, it has to be framed in such a manner that from top management to grassroots, everybody is contributing in innovation, because ideas can come to anybody, anytime. Any
Yes, ma'am.
questions so far?
There's a very famous book called Jugaad Innovation, a frugal
Yeah.
and flexible approach. I
Hmm.
I've read about that, and I've even gone across this incident that took place in Japan, where there was a deep excavation sort of a thing. I think it was due to an earthquake that took place, and within 4 days they had replaced the entire road. And that is a very extensive task to do in the matter of 4 days, but they had planned their strategies accordingly. And I think that is something India can learn from.
Yeah. So in fact, I wanted to show one machinery which was made out of scrap. Let me see if I can do it. This is again a frugal management thing. One of the supervisors of one forging company. I am trying to show it on laptop. If it, I can, let me see.
You can share, ma'am. I have permitted that. You can share it. Screen share is possible. Yes.
Now see, this is the sanitizing machine, which is made out of scrap. Now, a person will come and is going to. Could you see it?
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
This is made out of scrap. They're made with no extra cost. This is operated by foot. So,
Hello.
hello. Yeah.
Ah, it's
So,
more.
uh, I have seen similar kind of things in many of the companies, which is done by the lowest level of the people.
Hello.
Yeah.
Um,
So,
Ma'am, you can minimize your screen share so that you can appear, I suppose. There is some problem.
Yeah,
It's now muted. It's on mute. Yes. Now it's okay.
yeah.
Huh.
So, similarly, I've seen such kind of innovation at the grassroots, which has made tremendous contribution in companies' savings. Similarly, one of the packaging company I've seen that they used to use welding wires to seal the tins of oil. Now, this welder, he thought he kept on seeing, innovating the welding technique, and he was able to weld with same strength with half of the wire. And it was a very big company, and they saved lakhs of rupees with a small innovation. So one has to keep that cultural grip on the people. If you have read in the newspaper also, there was one incident of Adani. It was there in the newspaper earlier. I think 6-8 months back, that he hired one consultant who has to make a artificial harbor for the ships. And when crores and crores of rupees were spent on that creating that harbor, and after the day final run was to take place, when Mr. Adani was there to witness everything, that harbor sank. Now, if I ask you, what could Mr. Adani have done with that consultant? If we were in the place of Mr.
Maybe
Yeah.
ask him to work on it again, reconstruct it.
Okay. So what Mr. Adani said, the consultant said he was, he was sweating, and he thought that his assignment has ended and he might be slapped with some fine. Mr. Adani said, young man, since I've invested quite few crores on you, now you work again. This has to happen when you have to create something, So that these are practical realities which might not, you might not has to have set that kind of appetite of risk taking. You have to control your fear of ambiguity, fear of failure. Then only one can innovate.
Yes, ma'am.
So innovation and creativity is a very big topic. Even if you see, even for creativity, one has to leave one's comfort zone. Once you leave the comfort zone, then only best things comes when you are at when you are in a very miserable position. For like let us take the COVID example. If we were not in this situation, we would not have thought of making PPE kits, sanitizers, masks, or reinventing, or maybe Atmanirbhar Bharat. So when there is some kind of such crisis, people are at their best in creativity.
Yes. Radical innovation take place when we are in crisis.
So I think this is all from my side.
Yes, ma'am, it was really good, and thank you so much for joining us today. And it is all recorded, and we will share it with faculty members, academicians, experts in industry, and also students across the globe. So thank you so much for giving your valuable inputs.
My pleasure.
And,
my pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you.
This interactive session, ma'am. It was very insightful talking to you.
Thank you, Anamika,
Thank
for
you
joining us.
so much. I'll be happy to contribute. I'm sorry. I'll to contribute in future also. If I can be helpful to students, it will be, I'm to contribute to students. Okay, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.